kisses that once in a lifetime.
Oh my. Hello. Welcome. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. How's everybody doing today? How you guys doing? Good to see you. Joe, good to see you. Wellsbrick Studios, Exile Cinema. Man. Mart Saluri? How's it going? Stephanie, how's it going? Man. Bastion, how's it going? David. Awesome. You guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Really appreciate it. I'm excited. This is probably going to be a pretty short stream. Don't know for sure, but we'll see how it goes. Here's the deal. I've been playing with this palette gear thing for a little bit, doing some color grading and kind of playing around with it. And I wanted to do a video review, but I thought it'd be more fun to do a live review because then you guys can ask questions and kind of help explore it a little more. And I'm excited. I think it'll be cool, and give you my thoughts on it. And I'm just gonna give it an honest review here. They did send this to me to review and to feature on the channel, and so yeah, I'm just gonna do what I think is owed to you guys and just be honest and answer whatever questions you have, since I have one here to play around with. So that's the deal. That is the deal. Thanks for pronouncing my name proper. Good. Did I actually do it right? I hope so. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm super pumped too, Exile. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to it. Shall we? Let's get to it. Okay, so here's the deal. This is a palette gear. And so what this is a piece of hardware that hooks to your computer, and it comes in little blocks like this. So check this out. This is like the brain of it, right? And then it has little modular things to where you can build your own like control surface. And so these are knobs, and they're buttons. And then we have like this kind of button, which is like a what do you call it? Or like an arcade button kind of. There's two of those. And then there's two sliders come with this, and then this is another knob. And so the cool thing is you can arrange this however it makes sense to you based on the type of software that you're using and all those things. Well, I have a link where we can buy our faithful friend / mod Dan Bernard Media is going to do that for us. So it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. This is definitely something I've been excited to try out quite a while, and really wanted to just see how it helps with various types of software. What are these? Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, this is the palette gear, and so yeah, it's a bunch of little blocks that snap together. There's magnets here and little electrical contacts, and any way you want to make it, you can build your own like custom surface, which is really cool. And you can get like, I don't know how many you can put in one configuration. Like, I don't know if there's like a maximum. I don't think they list it, and so I guess you could buy like a whole ton of these and hook them up. That'd be pretty sweet. But it's pretty cool because yeah, you can make your own like custom thing, and you can do stuff like, if you have your keyboard here, you guys can see my super dirty keyboard. You can like build around it, you know, and like, you know, have it customized around your workspace. Kind of cool, huh? So yeah, the neat thing about this that I found is that it does it does keyboard shortcuts, but it also does like it actually interacts with some software at least, and they're coming out with new profiles and stuff all the time, like for the software that it actually interacts with. But what I thought was cool is that these things actually interface like with Premiere and Illustrator and Photoshop and pretty much just the Adobe programs for the most part. But it's not just like a keyboard shortcut, it actually interfaces with the software. And so let me put this back to hopefully the configuration I had. I'll probably forget it, but let's see if this works. So I think it was like this. No, it was like this. Here. I think we did something like this. Oh gosh. There's one here. I forget exactly how I did this. Ha! I remember now. Like a boss. Look at me. Me just remembering. So rad. Okay. Hey look, they did it. Although these are switched, I think. This was here. Yes! Look at me go. Okay. So, does it work with DaVinci Resolve? No, it doesn't interact with DaVinci Resolve like it does with Premiere, which was, you know, kind of a big bummer for me. Although I knew that before I got it, so it's not like they say it does or anything. So we can totally open up Resolve and play around with it if you guys want to, but it's definitely less like integrated than it is with Lumetri. I'm not sure what it does with Final Cut. I'm pretty sure it's kind of the same thing. It's keyboard shortcuts. It is kind of like a Rubik's Cube, yeah. So, here's what I think is cool. I've set up in the software, and up here you'll see the software. And what's neat is it updates and like it knows where things are, like in the software, which is kind of neat. And so you can see a really visual map of your stuff. And what I've done is, well, first of all, I'll show you kind of how this works. I'll make a new profile. So here's all the software it works with, and a lot of this, it kind of just brings up the software that's open on your computer. And so a lot of it is just keyboard shortcuts, but the Premiere ones, or the Adobe ones, are pretty darn special. So if you just double click on this stuff, it's being dumb. Okay, one moment. Oh no, secrets. Shh, run. Shh, shh, shh. That's one thing I found is that sometimes, like if you switch to a new profile and you try and edit it, the software will crash, which isn't that big of a deal, but you know, when you're really trying to play around and customize it, it's kind of annoying. So now I can click it and open up. That's normally how it works. And so under Premiere, this is like all the stuff that Premiere does. And you can adjust effects and transitions. You can do Lumetri color stuff, which we'll get into. You can do editing things, playback and navigation, audio mixer stuff, and then like adjust any property. This is kind of cheating, I'm gonna be honest. This is just emulates the mouse wheel. And so like the idea is that, okay, if it's adjust any property, if you like select a number on your screen, oh, you can't see that, hold on. If you select a number on your screen like this, and you adjust this, it like adjusts it, but you can also do that with, well, I thought you could. Maybe you can't. Maybe it's not as bad as all that. You can adjust, okay, well either way, you can adjust it with the dial. The other day I thought I was getting this to happen with the the mouse wheel, but maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe Casey just needs to calm down. Casey better say cool dog action somewhere in this video. Man. Ditched Premiere for Resolve yesterday and loving it. Your Resolve tutorials are awesome. I wonder if they will add more functionality on Palette Gear for Resolve as time goes on. Yeah, and I don't think that that's the Palette Gear's fault. I think Resolve, I think Blackmagic is really guarded about like what hardware it uses, and so I think it's kind of, I think the gate's on that end, possibly. Don't know. So anyway, so adjust any properties, all right, but what the cool thing is, like, you can adjust the opacity, and you can also set like the sensitivity and the range of things. And so if I map this to opacity, then whatever clip I have selected, I can turn down the opacity with this dial. So it's really cool. The cool thing is that you can customize it like however you want, and like use these different things just exactly how you work. So under motion, you can adjust things like, so if you wanted to, things I've played with are like, you could make this a like an Etch-a-Sketch, which again, I don't know if that's necessarily something you want to do, but like, you can move stuff around like that. I know a lot of people, I feel like, are used to using something like this for, like, I see this in like Resolve windows and stuff, which again, this doesn't really work with Resolve, but I mean, it's kind of the same idea. That's like, this is Y and this is X for moving stuff around on screen. Again, I don't know if you would use that necessarily, but it's something. We also have like scale, scale width, rotation, anchor point. So a lot of cool stuff that you can do just within the effects and the motion. You can adjust the volume of a clip with one thing, which I think would be pretty neat if you're doing a lot of mixing inside of Premiere. So under Lumetri, this is really cool. This is like the main reason why I really wanted this type of thing, is this interacts directly with Lumetri. And so you can just tell whatever thing you have selected to actually adjust things within Lumetri, things that there aren't keyboard shortcuts for. So stuff like, oh, I'll just map this to saturation, you know, and then you can adjust the saturation of a clip. Oops, I have to be clicked on Premiere. There we go. You can adjust the saturation of the clip. Supposedly, there it goes. Yeah, it's really, really takes a lot of movement. I might be able to adjust the sensitivity. The sensitivity is as high as it goes. That's what's crazy. So I wonder if I can set this higher. It's a little better. Maybe. Might be better. So anyway, that's what's cool, is you can map this to pretty much anything in Premiere. You can map it to all the sliders. The only thing you can't do is like curves and stuff that really needs more of like a screen like space to be able to deal with. So I want to show you how I have been using it, because I think this is probably the best way to work that I've found, at least. What I've done is I've mapped these two buttons to the previous profile and next profile, and each profile has these sliders listed as something else. And so if I move through this right here, let's go to a different clip. Sure, let's go with this clip. I can go through here and it changes the layout of my palette gear, and I can adjust my basic correction stuff with these sliders depending on which profile I'm on. And so if I want to start grading this, I can go to whites and blacks, and I move this around, and then I can adjust my black levels how I want, and my white levels how I want, and then move to like highlights and shadows and kind of play with that a little bit. I have this map to saturation, and so I can bring up the saturation if I want to. Again, that's pretty precise, and so it takes a while. Exposure and contrast. The only thing that I don't like about mapping it to these sliders, because the thing is, it makes a lot of sense to put it on the sliders because these are sliders in the software, but they don't move, and they don't adjust the control like from where it's at. It just basically makes it like jump to where the slider's at. So if I just touch this a little bit, it moves the contrast all the way down, which isn't that big of a deal unless you want to just do like a little adjustment, like, oh, I just need it a little brighter, and you're like, and then it just like goes crazy. You know what I mean? And so these things might actually be better to map to the rotators because you can be a little bit more precise there. And so if you guys want to, we can play around with that and see how that works. But this is kind of a cool way to play with the footage and give a little bit more of a tactile feel. So I can boost my temperature up a little bit. And again, once I touch something, it like goes crazy. You know what I mean? So I kind of have to set that in the middle by myself, which again might just be something that I shouldn't map to a slider. Maybe that should be, maybe saturation should be a slider or something. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. And then I have this like map to different edit points, and so I should be able to go through, if it works. Yeah, should be able to go through different points on my edit there and adjust them where I want to be. So I can bring up my contrast maybe. My exposure. And so it does give you kind of a nice way to adjust several things within the Lumetri color thing. And especially if you have it hooked up like with a tangent too, like I have a tangent ripple. And so you could probably like use them together if you wanted to. But I think it's pretty neat that it talks directly to Lumetri. I think that's pretty sweet. So yeah, and I know like also if you guys are into Lightroom, I'm not that into Lightroom. I've never really used it that much just because I'm not that into photography. But if you guys are, I know that this is, I think they must have started designing it for Lightroom because it seems like it works really well with Lightroom and like does a lot of stuff, and there's like a lot of tutorials on it and everything. So if you're into Lightroom, that might be a good thing too. Yeah, and this is, I have like jog control, which is kind of cool. So yeah, do you guys have any questions about like how this works in Premiere? Things you want me to try, take a look at? Again, this is just like it's an honest look at it and just seeing what it can do and what it can't, and if it might be good for your workflow. So, will you be doing any grading work within Resolve on this live stream? Probably not. This is just a like gear review stream. The next stream will be doing some grading. So yeah, mostly just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this. Like, all in all, it feels really awesome. The hardware and everything feels super solid. Like these are plastic, which is fine because you're just moving them back and forth. Like, but these are metal, and it all feels really nice. Like, it looks super awesome. It's responsive. Does all the things. So, I want to open up Photoshop too. I'm going to turn off my screen for just a minute so I can grab a good photo. Right. Don't get scared, you guys. It's a lion. Don't get scared. So, I think I was just gonna try this out live and see what we can do in Photoshop with it, because I know a lot of Adobe people use Photoshop too. So, inside this, you can see there's airbrush stuff. There's, again, like, all of these can be mapped to keyboard shortcuts too, so you can really use it with any software if you want to. I'm really thinking about using it like with OBS because I do a lot of live streaming and stuff. Maybe seeing if that can be something that's really helpful. It also does media mode, which like doesn't make sense for my system because of the way my audio is set up, but like you can make any of these be your system volume, which might be great like if you have headphones that don't have a volume jack or anything and you're editing. That's just like a quick volume knob. That's really easy. Yeah, and then you can map anything to switch the functions on, like switch in between the presets too, which is cool. So yeah, we can do a lot of stuff with like brushes. You can mix colors with it, which is kind of cool. And so like, if I wanted to do, like if I wanted to have a really solid like color mixing thing, here, let me try and do this well. So I can hook this up to foreground color. This is like especially useful, I think, if you do like digital art or something. That could be awesome. So red, and then I have the camera like right in front of where I'm supposed to look. It's awesome. Green and oh gosh, where did it go? Foreground color blue. And you can also change the colors around this thing, so like it's easier to know like kind of what they do, and you can kind of label them on your surface, you know? So what's cool is like if I wanted to paint on this, let's say, right, I can mess with my color with my hardware and basically do like an RGB color mixer thing with this. So it's really cool. You can customize it and do all sorts of different things. And again, it's like, it's so customizable that it's almost like you kind of have to play with it for a while and figure out like what works for your workflow. Yeah. So you can also like do layer controls, you can modify selection with it, do all sorts of different things. Adjust brightness and contrast. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it can do a lot of stuff, which is neat. And so yeah, you can pretty much customize it however. What else do you guys want to see with this? Do you want me to try and open it up in Resolve and see what we can map to it? I can do that if you want to. Go ahead and close that. And my scopes are locking up in Premiere. That's fun. That's really fun. That would be cool to open in Resolve. Is that what you're talking about? That's the problem with delays. I never know. I never know who's answering what question. It's pretty awesome. Awesome. Okay, sure, I'll do that. Just a minute, let me hide for a minute. Tell us about your gear, camera, gimbal, lens. I don't have a gimbal, is one thing. Our company doesn't have a gimbal right now. We have, mostly we shoot Blackmagic. Let me bring up my... Let me bring up a good project here. Yeah, mostly we shoot Blackmagic. We also shoot a little bit. I mean, we shoot on DJI drones. We shoot a little bit of, like, you know, Canon and Sony and stuff here and there, but it's mostly Blackmagic we shoot for our day-to-day work. All right, so here's Resolve. Let's see if I can maybe open my gallery and move this over so we can see the preview here. That'll work. That'll work. Something like that. What camera from Blackmagic? We have a bunch of them. We do. We shoot a micro cinema camera. Actually, that's what this camera is right now. Is a Blackmagic micro cinema camera. We also have a production camera 4K and a Ursa Mini 4K. We've also shot pocket camera. They're all really good. Having a lot of issues with Premiere crashing in CC 2018, so I figured I'd give Resolve a try and I'm hooked. Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with Premiere crashing lately too. I use Premiere for most of my editing, and it's... I don't know what's the deal with the new version or whatever, but it's crashes a lot, man. Okay, so let's bring up our... Oh gosh, where's my keyboard shortcuts under user, right? There we go. All right. So pretty much this can work with, let's just see here, Vinci Resolve. So again, this doesn't directly interface with Resolve. It's a, it emulates keyboard shortcuts. So let's call this Resolve. And here's the thing, we can map keys to right turn, left turn, and dial press on these. And these are just button press. And these, we can't actually map these sliders, which kind of sucks. I don't really like that. I would think that you could like map it at least to one side or something. That seems like that could be a thing. But That's okay. You can map them to volume or brightness, which, again, like that doesn't make sense for my system. It might be super great for you guys. I know you can also make this into a MIDI surface, which you could probably hook up with Fairlight. I don't really have experience doing that, so I don't know if I want to try that live, but I think you can do that. I did hook it up with MIDI with another program I was using, and it seemed to work really well. So anyway, the cool thing is this is kind of like an extension of your keyboard, and so things that you do all the time, like maybe adding a serial node would be good. So maybe I'll add a serial node. It's Alt S, right? So let's do this. Let's say Alt S, done. And then like you could do like a Shift S for add serial node before. So now if I need another node, that's fun. Oh, it's Resolve being dumb. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Did I do this wrong? Alt S. Oh, okay. I just mapped that wrong. I see. Okay, so now it should... Yeah, there we go. Cool. How to mapping the MIDI controller work in Fairlight? Like I said, I didn't do it. I haven't tried that yet. I can try it. I haven't mapped anything to Fairlight, like, at all, so I probably lost there anyway. I mean, if you want me to, I can fumble around with it, but I haven't really done that yet, so... So, yeah. So, like, I can do my serial nodes there. I think it might be interesting to... Let's see, where's my stuff here? Keyboard mapping. Like, stuff you could do, like, next version and previous version on these so that you could switch in between your versions. That'd be cool. Let's see. You could go in between your nodes. See, that would be a good thing. Like if we want to adjust different nodes. So like it's Alt Shift semicolon and Alt Shift whatever that thing is called, apostrophe. So like let's do Alt Shift semicolon. Yeah, you have to do that first. Okay. Was that previous? Or that was, yeah, that was previous. Okay. Let's do Alt Shift that and left. We'll Alt Shift. I did it again. I don't learn, you guys. So and then we can add a new one like label current node. Let's do that. So for dial press, L, I'll Control Shift. Yay. Okay, so now although I don't know if Resolve's keyboard shortcuts have even helped yet. All right, so like that's our nodes, and then I can go in between them. Should be able to, yeah, like that. And I don't think the keyboard shortcut thing is working in Resolve actually, because I haven't even gotten that to work in this version, like ever. I don't know if you guys have. Yeah. So let's see what else. Bring up my preferences here. So yeah, I mean there are a lot of things you can do just because of Resolve, um, making it available for keyboard shortcuts, which is cool. And it's nice to be able to like have one for like right and one for left and one for pushing on the dial. And so there's probably some cool stuff you could do there. Like if you did, okay, so like if you did a serial node, like if you added a serial node, if you hit it, and then a circular window, like if you go to the right or something, that could be cool. Tracking forward and reverse, that could be cool. Let's do that. So it's Control Alt and Control Alt T. So like let's say this one will be tracking. So this will be T. This will be Control T for track forward. Left turn will be Alt T, and dial press will be Control Alt T. So now, like if I have a circle window here, and I want to track it back and forth, I can just go boop. That should track it forward. Do the normal magic things that Resolve can do. And I can come back here, track backward. So like for Resolve, this might be something like I definitely wouldn't recommend this as like a color surface, but if you had it and it was like useful to you in Premiere or like in Photoshop, again, if you do digital art or something, you could set this up like above your keyboard to have like different controls that you can just add that are a little bit easier. So that's kind of what I'm thinking the place for this is in my mind. Let's see what else we got. Do presets. Yeah, and stuff like versions. So like we could do next version as like Control N, previous version as Control B, and dial press will be add version, which is Control Y. And so now, if I like that, I can add a new version, make this one really blue. Cool, add a new version. Make it this color if you wanted, just to show that you can go in between the versions, and then I can go through my versions with the dial, which is pretty cool. Paulito Lawrence, thank you for subscribing. You're the best. Appreciate that. Seems like the palette gear would be good for those who use Adobe and Resolve, since it would have uses for both. Yeah, I saw it working things like iTunes, Spotify. Pretty neat. Yeah, exactly. That's the cool thing is like if you get a color surface, it's really good with Resolve, but it doesn't really do much else. Like you might be able to map like one of the buttons or something, but with this, it's like you can literally have it do just about anything that like your keyboard could do to kind of speed up your other apps, and you can switch in between them really easily. So it's kind of like a generalized tool, but I think that's cool. I mean, if you do a lot of different stuff, if you're not just in Resolve, like if you like doing other stuff in the Adobe programs, or again, like if you live stream, or maybe if you like DJ or something, there'd be some kind of MIDI thing you wanted to hook up to it. That could be really good. I mean, I do a lot of different things, and I'm excited to kind of dig into it and see what I can do to help my productivity and help things be awesome. And I definitely do like this adding a version and going to the next version with this. I think I'll definitely keep something like that. That's cool. Again, I'm kind of annoyed that these don't do anything like for the keyboard shortcut. That kind of sucks, to be honest, but the rest of them are cool. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the long and short of it, honestly. Do you guys have any questions about the palette gear and like what is there anything you want me to try or do with it? Because that's kind of why we're doing a live review here, is so that you can make up your opinion without having to actually buy one or try one out in real life. I can kind of do that through you. What's the music, by the way? It's a chill beats playlist on Spotify. If you just search chill beats, it's like the only thing that comes up. So it's that. Yeah, gear is not a good option for Resolve. Besides mouse and keyboard, you have to use another not good input hardware, just my opinion. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing, like I probably wouldn't recommend like getting this for a dedicated surface for Resolve. Like probably not. If you're really into Premiere and you're really into Lumetri, this is probably a really good way to go, because you can adjust that pretty well, and it interfaces really well with Lumetri. That's something, I mean, I'd like to try out more. But again, I mean, I use Resolve all the time, and so it's cool to have some extra control there if you happen to have that and it's really useful for another application. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. Thanks, Matt Allen. Appreciate that. So yeah. So if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and probably sign off for the day, because I do have to do some other stuff. We're cooking up some good stuff for you at Ground Control. Stuff I can't talk about. Stuff that's super secret. Area 51 stuff. You know what I mean? It's cool. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to check this out, and I hope it's helpful to you. I've always been curious about this. This is the first time I've gotten to check it out, really. And man, like freaking aliens, man. I know, right? Anyway, thanks again for the great tutorials. You're welcome, Wellshock. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys, I'm glad you liked it. I hope this was helpful for you. I have I think a very useful, helpful tutorial in the can, all edited. I just need to watch through it again to make sure I don't look like an idiot at some point through there. And I'll be putting that up on YouTube maybe tomorrow, definitely by Friday. And it's a very long tutorial about matching shots together. It's kind of an updated version of the shot matching tutorial. And I think it's pretty sweet. I matched 10 different cameras together of all kinds of picture styles and everything to match and at least look like they're in the same world. So I think that'll be helpful to you. That certainly would have been helpful to me when I was starting out color grading. So yeah, using Resolve for the new tutorial. Yep. I usually try and stay in Resolve for the most part, because I know that's what a lot of people are asking for. So oh yeah, also wanted to let you know, if you don't know, we have a Discord for Ground Control, and you guys have been awesome. Like, a lot of people have come to talk and share their work and get color grading feedback and everything. We introduced it about a month ago, and it's been really cool to be able to connect with you guys, to get to know you a little better. Doing the live streams have been awesome for that. But definitely go and check that out. I'm trying to think if we have a... Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Dan, for that. We also have exclusive sales on Discord, and it's kind of like a secret thing. And so only people who are on the Discord know about the sales. All right? And so we won't always have a sale going on at Ground Control, but pretty often we'll have some kind of deal going on through the Discord. So go and check that out. If you don't know what Discord is, here it is. It's pretty much it's kind of like a chat room, sort of, but it has multiple, like, different categories. Like, here's where we talk about tutorials. See, this is kind of a preview of the new tutorial I'm working on. Kind of some behind-the-scenes stuff. all kinds of things. Anonymous, thank you for subscribing. You're the best. And you can share your work. There's color grading music. There's a link to this this playlist you guys were asking me about. There's stuff for inspiration, stuff for color grading feedback. It's just a cool place where we can kind of have a community and get to know each other a little better. For anybody who's trying to get better at color grading or post-production in general, that's a resource that we want to give to you guys because we love you and we think that you're the best. That's the idea. So yeah, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I know this is kind of a shorter stream, kind of a different stream than usual, but I wanted to try it out. If there's something you want me to review, something you want me to do something like this for, let me know in Discord. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me directly. Let me know in comments. That would be sweet. Anyway, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna sign off. I think I'm gonna go get some coffee because it's about 2 p.m. and you know what that means? Coffee time is imminent. Yay! Yay! Love you guys. See you later.